this is the part that amazes me sometimes. So when I'm at my place of employment, I will ask people, what do they want? And the first thing they do is give me about 4 or 5 things of what they don't want. And I always ask them the question, okay, did you hear what I just said? I said, I didn't ask you what you didn't want. I asked you what you really want. Welcome, family, to the Bacon Bits Podcast, where we desire for you to take the bits of information and immediately apply them to your life for success. The ground rules for our podcast is that it will always be encouraging, uplifting, and informative. The areas of life that we will be talking about on the Bacon Bits Podcast is dealing with having a balanced life. I need to hear you say it. Say it out loud. Say valuable information applied equals success. And welcome to 2023. What a year, what a year, what a year this is going to be if you continue to do self-discovery, if you continue to do get to know you, the real you. Do you know you? Part 2. Self-discovery is important because it helps us live more meaningful lives. We learn how to take better care of ourselves when we understand ourselves. So this is where you have to do some fine tuning to find out why you do what you do, whether that's financially, whether that's with your relationships, whether that's with your health, whether that's with your mind, whether that's with your spirit. Plus, you might find a more fulfilling career if you connect with your true self. One of the greatest discoveries I ever made was when I turned 30 years old. And I discovered from looking over my life and talking to God to find out that I'm supposed to be an encourager, supposed to be a teacher, and supposed to be uplifting people to have the best life that they can possibly have. And it is truly a blessing to be passionate about helping people come out of their funk, giving them clear, simple directions on how to have a better life. And perhaps you'll learn that even as an introvert, because introverts, man, I've been there as a kid, super shy, and had to come out of my comfort zone to become the person that I am today. But it took a while, man, because if you're born an introvert and you still are an introvert, I don't want you to change from being that, but I also want you to come more out of your shell and become a more social butterfly so you can have the kind of life that you want to have. Because if you do not start speaking out loud the very things you want out of life, man, you will never have the kind of life that you want to have. And I'm a firm believer that you are only 1 or 2 people away from having your dream life. 1 or 2 people away. So either you know somebody that has the answers to what you need, or they know somebody that has the answers to what you need. So you're only 2 people away from having a phenomenal life. And just what happened to me in the year 2022 was talking to a good friend of mine, Earl Cross. Love this brother. We was out having some coffee, and me and him were just dialoguing, and he was talking about wanting to start a podcast. And I was like, man, so what is podcasting? And then he gave me some insight onto that. And then he led me to a young lady, Shay, who is the producer of all of these wonderful Bacon Bits podcasts, and it's been like heaven ever since. So I was 2 people away from having the dream life that I can have, and I am so grateful for her and for my brother Earl. But I had to verbally say out loud, this is something that I wanted to do, which opened the door for us to be where we are at today. This also gives you more clarity when you know who you are and what you want your future to look like when you know you. So this is the year, man. This year is going to be different for you. I firmly believe that, because you're going to take the information that you've been given, which is extremely valuable. 55 years of my life this has cost me. And you're going to take this information and apply it this year. This won't be the year that you know it backwards and forwards. This will not be the year that you can repeat back to me every class or every podcast I've ever taught. But you're going to actually take the information that you've been given and you're going to start to apply it, man. We want to take simple, bite-sized steps and you having the kind of life that you want. So let's just say, for instance, that you want to be more financially secure this year. So a couple of things that I would just throw out there and discovering that is ask yourself the question, how much money do you think that's going to make you happy? Not the, everybody wants to be a millionaire type thing. But I want you to ask yourself that question. How much money do you think that would be? Divide that by 52 because there's 52 weeks in a year. Divide that by 40 hours. And then guess what? You'll come up with an idea of this is the amount of money I need to make to reach that amount that I'm trying to accomplish. Health wise, do you desire to be healthy this year? One of those little nuggets I would throw out there is before you drink your wonderful cup of morning brew that you drink every day, I would ask you to drink 16 ounces of water before you drink your coffee. Look how simple of a step that is, that you can do that and got more water intake, and that's going to make you healthier and live a better life. So those are the kind of things I'm talking about when you're saying discovering yourself. What little things can I do every week to make myself better? And I don't even want to say every week. I want to say every day. Because if you can make yourself 1% better today than you did yesterday, look what's going to happen in the first 100 days of this year. You will be 100% better than you was already. So we're going to do the simple things. By understanding yourself, you can chart a future that satisfies your needs and supports your well-being. Without self-discovery, you won't live the most passionate and fulfilling life possible. Man, don't you want to live a life that's passionate? Don't you want to love the people that's in your life like you've never loved them before? Don't you want to get up in the morning on a Monday morning and be stoked about the very things that you're going to be doing this week in your career? Don't you want to have the kind of health that, man, you can walk around, man, and feel good about yourself? You don't have the normal aches and pains that the people your age usually have. Don't you want to have clarity on where you want your life to be at and you're moving in that direction? Don't you want to have a close relationship with God, the creator of the universe, man? But that takes you coming out of the old just making ends meet type of life and finally living a life that you have really done your homework so you can have a life that's passionate, that's fulfilling, that's wonderful. Let's say that you do some reflecting and realize that your favorite project at work are the ones you lead. Look at how you just discovered that very thing right there. You like leading, so guess what? You want to find a job where you get a chance to do more leading, That probably means that you have a talent or a passion for leadership, and everybody doesn't have that. I don't firmly believe that everybody should be in leadership, but I firmly believe that there are some great leaders out there that are to encourage the people that they are working with. And that's one of the things that I really wish companies would get. And I pray that some leaders are listening to this. You take care of your staff as the staff is taking care of the people. I don't know what's so hard about that. You take care of your staff as the staff is taking care of the people, man. And I don't care what business you are in, you are going to have great success in doing that. And when you know yourself, you can recognize your strengths and your weaknesses, man. So strength of mine is I love making sure bills are paid and doing those things like that. One of my weaknesses with money is I will spend money in a heartbeat. One of my weaknesses in relationships is I love to love the people that I love. One of my weaknesses is not always coming out saying exactly what I need to tell them to have the kind of life that they want. So there's many strengths and weaknesses you will discover about yourself when you know you. When you study yourself, when you are skilled at being mindful of yourself, being compassionate with yourself, giving yourself empathy, that is a huge one because there is nobody on this planet, I can guarantee you, that's as hard on you as you are. I can almost guarantee that. So that's one of the things that for people that have a lot of compassion and a lot of grace for other people, a lot of mercy for other people, we have got to learn how to be graceful and merciful to ourselves. We have got to learn this. This process can help you see where you need to grow too. If you need to strengthen your communication skills, for example, taking the time to reflect on yourself will show you that. So some of the great things that we need to work on for discovering ourselves. So what's 5 benefits of self-discovery? What is those things that we can do to learn how to discover ourselves more and be on that road to the self-discovery, to look different? And it will look different for many people, but for everyone, it brings benefits that will help you become your true self. So number one, your relationships will thrive. Because I'm a firm believer in what the scriptures say when it says to love others as you love yourself. That is a question of the ages. Do you really love yourself? Do you really love yourself? Because if you love you, then you are able to love the people that you say you love around you. We always say, I love, my mama, my daddy, my sister, brothers, aunties, uncles, nephews, nieces, and cousins, and grandmama and granddaddy more than I love myself. And it goes back to, if you're not taking care of you, you can't take care of the people that you love. So it is really pivotal that you work on having a healthier you with you so you can have that healthy relationships that you have with others, to get your core values down and find out what you really want out of life. You'll be able to identify toxic stuff, toxic people, toxic relationships, toxic situations that's in your life if you do the self-discovery. And part of you doing self-discovery is saying to yourself, all right, I love myself enough to finally remove these toxic people and these toxic situations that I am in. That is huge in self-discovery. Number two, you will experience less self-criticism. When you know you are constantly working on being a better you, you will be less hard on yourself. Rather than criticize every mistake that you make, you need to know that mistakes happen. That's a given, man. You're going to fail. You're going to mess up. You are going to have moments that you can't even tolerate you. Yeah, I know this for a fact. You will get on your own nerves sometime. But the more I keep working on trying to discover myself and be a better person in the areas of where I can become better, for me, I usually criticize myself a whole lot less. And I think that's a big thing that people can work on in this wonderful year. You'll feel more creative this year. Self-expression is key to letting others know how you feel and for becoming more creative. But how can you express yourself if you don't know who you are? Everybody is creative, but they're creative in their own different ways. So self-reflection will help you find your identity and learn how to express it. One of the number one things people have got to work on in this wonderful new year is self-identity. Who am I? Why am I here? What am I supposed to be doing? Who am I supposed to be working with? Where am I going? What am I doing in life? When this is all said and done, what will people say about me when I leave this life? But part of self-reflection and self-discovery, you will find that, and that will help you become more creative. You will have a better ability to focus on what you truly want. This is the part that amazes me sometimes. So when I'm at my place of employment, I will ask people, what do they want? And the first thing they do is give me about 4 or 5 things of what they don't want. And I always ask them the question, okay, did you hear what I just said? I said, I didn't ask you what you didn't want. I asked you what you really want. And as soon as you ask them that question, they've never sat down with themselves to ask themselves the questions like, what do you really want out of life? The ongoing process of discovering yourself requires you to be committed and focused. This is the year we're going to work on some time management. This is the year we're going to work on some physical fitness. This is the year we're going to work on our money management skills. This is the year when we reflect back, you're going to understand how to better achieve the goals that you want with a better sense of self in mind. You can plan a future that embodies who you really are, not the figment of your imagination. You'll get to the point where, I am finally becoming the person that I really wanted to become. And these are the steps that I have taken to become the person that I really want. And then last but not least, your self-confidence will increase. Believing in yourself and your abilities can impact your professional and personal life. With more confidence, you'll walk into new experiences as a whole person. What do we believe on the Bacon Biz podcast? Financial security, healthy relationships, your health being good, your mind being straight, your relationship with God being straight. I firmly believe I want you to be a whole person, not lacking anything. And that's something that God desires for you, not someone who shies away from the challenges or changes of life. Is life always going to change? You better believe it. But you got to ask yourself the question, when those challenges and those changes come, do I know myself enough not to freak out, not to have a fight or flight and freeze moment, to just truly just sit there for a minute, understand how this situation plays out in the bigger picture of my life, and to respond accordingly. And as you begin your journey of self-improvement, your confidence will continue to grow. And we need to have that confidence. You know, some of the things of life, one of the things of life is fear of failure. If you understand up front that you are going to fail in life sometimes, and you prepare yourself for the changes that you need to make and the things that you need to do, you'll be well off in becoming the best you that you've ever become. How do you keep yourself engaged with your self-discovery journey? It isn't something that you can start and finish in one afternoon. This is something that you'll be doing for months and years down the line. One of the greatest things I can offer to anybody as a man at the age of 55 is to never stop learning you. Never stop growing. Always want to become the best version of you that you've ever been. So throughout this process, here are a few ways you can keep yourself engaged in learning. So number one is to stay organized with your career and personal goals you're working to achieve. So do me a favor, please. This is one of the simplest things I learned in 2022 that I freaking love dearly. People will forget. Paper remembers. People will forget. Paper remembers. Write down your dreams and goals and put them somewhere where you can see them all the time. So whether that's in the bathroom mirror when you're getting ready for work or your day, whether that's on the refrigerator, because I'm a person that loves food, I'm always in the refrigerator. So that's a great place for me to have my goals, is on the refrigerator. So find a place where you know you're going to be driving in your car every day. So make little sticky notes in your car and write just one or two things. You don't have to, fill your whole dashboard and everything with your career goals and your personal goals, but at least have one or two that's always in the forefront of your mind. So stay organized. That's a big one. I love to be able to know that I can tell my wife right now, my fingernail clippers are in the medicine cabinet on the second shelf in the right-hand corner. I'm a person, I ain't no control freak. I ain't no super disciplined person, but I do like having, organization in a lot of things that I have. Number two, this is one of the things I used to do, and I need to get back to doing it. So I confess this to you. Find time to journal. Journaling will stimulate your mind and your thinking. So please start journaling. I started journaling when I first moved here to Tucson, and I love being able to look back over my journal and see how I've progressed in life. So it's something, once again, paper remembers, people forget. So it's cool to be able to look back over my life sometime when I forget, of some of the trials and tribulations that I've been through and made it through, when I can go back and look at my journal and see, the progress of the things that I've made in life. And it's a beautiful feeling. Listen to podcasts, obviously the Bacon Biz podcast. Read good books like The Healthy Relationship, a walk through the lenses of life of healthy relationships. Beautiful book. The Balanced Life. Oh my God. Beautiful book. And then Unraveling by Diana Acosta Bacon, a creative healing journal, since we're talking about journaling. So, man, some great books. Watch some videos. That's one of my little, bucket list goals of 2023 is to start doing more videos as we speak more words of wisdom. So that's something that we're going to be working on that. And then don't forget to stop asking yourself questions. Ask yourself questions of, why do I like the things that I'm doing? Why don't I like the things that I'm doing? What impact do I want my choices to have on my life? Because they're going to have an impact, whether you want it to or not. But what impact do I want it to have? You get to pick. Remember, finding your true self and finding your life purpose will be more than worth it. There are so many people that's on this planet that are just existing, and you want to get past that, man. Get past that. Just existing, and you want to fulfill the very purpose that God placed you on this planet for, man. But you have got to do self-discovery. It is super important. The journey of self-discovery doesn't involve only thinking about the future. It asks you to take a look at your past too. Spending time revisiting past feelings and experiences can be tough. Remember, it's okay to ask questions from your family and your friends about you, because remember, you're you. You know, we can't look at ourselves objectively sometimes. So we got to really work on, sometimes getting outside help from, I would say associates, even associates, because they can give you an objective point of view of who you are as a person. Knowing how to begin self-discovery is only the first step. In this process, you'll need to get out of your comfort zone and ask yourself some hard questions. Super important. Some of the things that I have to ask myself this year, and it's hard to even hear it and say it, but it's just something that's super important. One of the things that me and my queen are going to be working on this year is, when we pass away, how do we want our funeral arrangements? How do we want, you want to be cremated, you want to be put in the casket, all that wonderful stuff that people don't want to talk about, but those are the hard things that need to be talked about, because it's not a matter of if it's going to happen, it's just a matter of when it's going to happen. So it's never too late to become more in touch with yourself, and you'll be grateful you took the leap. I love you guys. This is your boy John Bacon with another segment of Bacon Bits. Continue to do what you do and continue to discover and be all that you can possibly be. Love you. God bless. All right. What's up, family? It's your boy John Bacon from the Bacon Bits podcast. Thank you so much for your support, likes, and ratings. Please don't just listen, but rate me, follow me, and subscribe. This is an amazing way to offer free support. My beautiful queen and I have some books that we have written for your growth.
So the first book we have is a workbook, actually. It's called Healthy Relationships, and this is a workbook through the lens of faith, because what makes a relationship healthy or unhealthy? So this workbook is designed, it's a 12-week, it's a biblically grounded course, and every week has a few different principles. So some of our topics that we're covering are respect, cultivating security. And this is not just between a husband and wife. This is between parents, between siblings, between friends, between your bosses, employers. So it's really important, and everyone deserves a healthy relationship.
And also we have The Balanced Life by John Bacon. It covers how to be prosperous in your finances, relationships, your health, your mind, and your spirit. And we also have
The Unraveling, a creative healing journal, pinings, poems, prayers, and ponderings of my precarious life. I've had a testimony of, I've had 2 brain tumors and 2 brain surgeries, and I'm super grateful, but I'm still grieving the process of healing. And this is part of the process. In this book, you have devotionals, you have prayers, and you have some ponderings. And in between these pages, there's a space for you to also be prompted to paint and to create your own, or maybe you want to write something in these books. This is part of your creative healing journal that we get to walk through together.
And you guys can just head over to Kingdom Servants First. Kingdom Servants, the number 1, st.com. And you can purchase all 3 of these books. Thank you for your support, your love, and your contributions. God bless.